What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cheeseheadz Weekly. It is good to be with you again here on a Wednesday to celebrate another Packers victory. They moved to 6-2 with the last second victory, another game winner by Brandon McManus. He becomes the first kicker to ever kick 2 game winners in his first 2 games with a team, and the Packers defeat the Jaguars 30-27 in Jacksonville. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you all here, and we will kick things off here in just a little bit. Just wanted to let you all know that you can now comment on the show on Spotify. So if that is where you normally listen, you can give any feedback, comments on the game, on the show, any type of question, whatever you want to give me. Makes for some fun discussion in the comments and makes things way more fun for me on the show to get, kind of your input on some things. Also, there is a link in the description, as always, to send in a voice message, so that is also a great thing for you to do. And you can get your voice heard on the show, get some questions answered. Makes the show a lot more fun and interesting for everyone. The show is available everywhere you get podcasts. It is also available on YouTube in video form, so you can hit that subscribe button there. You can hit the bell icon on YouTube or on Spotify to be notified when a new episode comes out. New episodes air every single week. I break down each Packers game during the season, give my take on it, and, have a great time talking Packers. You can support the show by giving it a rating on Spotify. You can also rate and review on Apple Podcasts. You can also tell your friends about the show, get the word out. And, of course, you can follow me everywhere you get the show. Subscribe or follow, hit that button. It's free, and it's very helpful to me. You can also follow the show on Instagram at Cheeseheadz_weekly, on X at Cheeseheadz_W. Also on Facebook and TikTok, not very active either of those two places, but you certainly can hit the follow button there as well. And of course, check out the website, greatcove.net/cheeseheadz. So, getting into the game, Packers win, and there are certainly some things to go over. This was not all roses in this one, and lots of injuries on both sides, I might add. It was to me, it looked like a little bit of a last man standing, just a little bit of a dogfight out there towards the end, players going down, and pretty impactful players. We'll go over the injuries here first. Packers QB Jordan Love went down with an injury. At first it looked like the knee. Early on he kind of landed awkwardly, and it looked like on that left knee where he is still wearing a brace. Turns out that was not the actual injury. It was actually a new injury, a groin strain, which seems to be minor, and he was able to play through it for a little bit, but then took another hit and landed awkwardly again, and he was took himself out of the game, was hurting pretty bad. You could tell throughout the game he was struggling to move very well, and really doesn't really didn't look like he was having a good time out there, we'll put it that way. But he did get some tests done. It is just a groin strain, a fairly minor one. He's kind of day-to-day, and probably won't be able to get to 100% by Sunday to take on the Lions in a pivotal matchup at Lambeau, division matchup, and, the Lions are kind of widely considered to be the number one team in the NFL right now. So, certainly something to monitor. Per Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, Love is, quote, determined to play despite the injury. And Rappaport thinks Love has a, quote, really good chance to play on Sunday. He said, quote, it's just a groin strain. This is going to be a matter of doing rehab, getting treatment, working right up until game time, just seeing if he's good enough to play. He is determined to play. He does not need to be 100% to play. That makes me believe that he's got a really good chance. So that does sound to me like he has a really good chance. If he has really any chance of playing, I think Jordan Love's going to try to get out there for this matchup. It's a big one. And really, their season kind of turned around last year on Thanksgiving when Jordan Love had a huge game and the Packers upset the Lions there on Thanksgiving. So this is certainly something to monitor. Obviously, the Packers, I think, have plenty of confidence in Malik Willis, who led the game-winning drive to get them in field goal range coming in the third quarter for Jordan. So certainly the Packers wouldn't blink if he's out there, but that does change things a little bit, potentially limits their offense just a little bit. And Jordan Love is clearly the starter here, and so if he has any chance to play, he is going to be out there for the Packers on Sunday. Malik Willis is 2-0 as the starter and 3-0 in any game he's played this year. How about Malik Willis, and how about Brian Gutekunst for bringing him in on that deal with the Titans? He was their third-string quarterback, could not win the backup job, and now he is just, having a great time out there, winning games for the Packers. The Packers game versus Detroit is going to be a big one, and I believe it's going to be one of the late games here on Fox, America's Game of the Week, and they will get the main broadcast of the main commentators for Fox, which consists of Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, and then Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi on the sideline as the sideline reporters. So that's a big one coming up, and certainly injuries to monitor. Besides the Jordan Love injury, we did have two others on the defense that were significant. Jaire Alexander, kind of, I don't know what happened, sustained a knee injury, I guess. Other than that, I don't really know. It occurred on the late touchdown catch, leaping grab by Evan Ingram, the tight end for the Jags, that tied the game at 27 late in the fourth quarter. Jaire Alexander had a chance to make a play on the ball, but came up hobbling and was not able to get into the air to try to make a play there, even though he was in position, and he kind of hopped off to the side, out of the way, and it is reportedly a knee injury. He had an MRI, and that has revealed that he has avoided a major injury, but that still does not mean he will automatically be available for Sunday, and so that is certainly something to monitor moving forward. He'll likely be day-to-day with the knee injury, but we still lack some details, and we'll have an injury report coming out later today to see how things are going. My guess would be that Jordan Love and Jaire Alexander would both not be participating on that as they try to rehab and get back to be able to play versus Detroit. And then another big injury, and I think seemed to directly impact the defense's performance after that, and I do think it had something to do with the performance of Javon Bullard then. But Evan Williams went down with a hamstring injury. It is said to be very minor, and he should be out there for Detroit, which is a good sign. If you look at the play that it happened, or seemingly happened, the last play that he played, you could not even tell that he got injured. So he was in there making the tackle and apparently tweaked something, but doesn't seem to be a major injury, and it's probably good that he was able to sit out for the rest of the game. Packers still get the win, and hopefully he can rest and recover and be ready and at full strength versus Detroit and avoid something, more lingering down the road. Soft tissue injuries like that can tend to linger if they are not properly treated. So Evan Williams, not major injuries. So it seems like, honestly, the Packers lucked out. Some pretty major players there, but the injuries all appear to be mostly minor, and all three have a decent chance of playing on Sunday. So, yeah, the Packers defense, I think, didn't play quite as good after Evan Williams went down, and Javon Bullard did not have a very good game. He has been playing in the slot for the most part the past few games. He probably practiced all week to play in the slot. That's where he was going to be playing. And he, ended up playing basically the majority of the game at safety. And he is a rookie at this point, still learning the game as a whole, and now forced to try to learn two positions at once and play both at a high level, be a starter at both. So he has a lot on his plate. Hopefully the Packers can figure something out there to kind of solidify his role one area or another, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be a starting safety at this point. He's kind of left without a real specialized role, because if Williams goes down, he's definitely the next best safety. They don't have a ton of options outside of him and Williams, but he also is kind of the slot guy. Keyshawn Nixon has been playing a lot on the outside, along with Stokes and Valentine, as they try to figure that out. And so Javon Bullard has been just fine in the slot, but whenever you have to play two positions, it can really mess with you a little bit, and so, especially as a rookie. So something to monitor there, but obviously you can't really keep Evan Williams off the field. He has made a terrific impact in every single game he's played this year, and whenever he's played meaningful snaps, he seems to get better with a larger role, which is what you like to see. So should be interesting to see how they use Bullard. He seems to be kind of the wild card in the secondary. Eric Stokes continues to struggle, and Carrington Valentine has dealt with injury different times, and for some reason not been able to get on the field a ton for whatever reason. Keyshawn Nixon has been pretty decent on the field. There has not been much to talk about regarding him, which means that's probably a good thing. No news is good news in that regard. Normally, whenever we're talking about Nixon, it's either we're talking about a great kick return or something, punt return that he did, or else we're talking about how bad he is on defense. And so far, we have not been hearing about that, specifically the being bad on defense part, so that is a good sign. But certainly still some things to work through as we move forward with going through the season here with the secondary there. And certainly things will get a little more interesting if Jaire Alexander has to miss games. I'll just get into my players of the game here. And number one on offense is Tucker Kraft. He continues to be absolutely terrific. And honestly, he's probably, I would kind of ignore the order here. I kind of put him in the wrong order. But yes, Tucker Kraft was still phenomenal if we're going with that. And he is a beast out there with the ball in his hands. He had a 67-yard reception in this one, along with a touchdown reception. He was 3 for 78, and a score. Was doing some great things out there as a blocker as well. Was tasked. I mean, the Packers clearly have plenty of trust in him. He was tasked with blocking Trayvon Walker. He on the last drive, the big completion that got them in field goal range was a 51-yard catch and run to Jaden Reed, and on that play, it was Tucker Kraft that was on the edge blocking Trayvon Walker, who is the Jaguars' best pass rusher. And so the Packers overall did a good job keeping him in check as far as their O-line. And Tucker Kraft has just been great as a run blocker, a pass blocker. He's great on the move, can find second-level defenders very well in the run game. And if he gets his hands on you, you're not really moving because he has just been fantastic. Also, if he gets his hands on you with the ball in his hands, you're gonna be moving. You're gonna be moving right with him because he just drags defenders along down the field. He did that on that 67-yard pickup. That was just incredible. Broke a tackle and then basically just shoved the guy down the field for a little while longer. Another 10 to 20 yards. He is just a sight for sore eyes, to be honest with you, with this Packers tight end position. And he's really emerged as a great all-around tight end and really one of the great tight ends in the league right now. National Tight Ends Day, he had a great game, and honestly, basically every tight end had a great game. Apparently, National Tight Ends Day is the one day that tight ends can be good. But that's all besides the point. Number 2 probably should be number 1 is Josh Jacobs, and he's really the reason they won this game today. After Jordan Love went down, kind of took matters into his own hands, had a 38-yard score on I believe it was the same drive that Tucker Kraft had that 67-yard reception, and then he went and ran for 38 more after that to take it the rest of the way to the house. That was, I don't think it was the same drive. Just ignore that, what I said right there, because that would be impossible. So forget about that. Regardless, Josh Jacobs, it was near the end of the game. Malik Willis was in the game. I believe that put their score from 20 to 27 with that touchdown. And it was a fantastic play by Josh Jacobs. He was 25 for 127, 5.1 average. Had a score earlier in the game as well to go with that one. 2 scores for Jacobs. Big time performance for Josh Jacobs in this one. Kind of just put the team on his back after Jordan Love went down and was fantastic. And by the way, you should really check out that 38-yard score he had there. That was some incredible stuff. Just completely juked a guy out of his shoes and then broke another tackle. It was must-see TV for sure. And then, of course, number 3, Malik Willis. How about this guy? Coming in, had a 20-yard rush at one point. Really 2 big plays kind of were big in that game. When he came into the game in those last few drives that were huge, helped the Packers win. In the game-winning drive, hit Jaden Reed for the 51-yard reception. That was huge. Big stuff going on there for Malik Willis. 4 for 5, 56 yards passing, a touchdown. Passer rating of 152.9, 4 for 23 in the run game. He continues to impress as a backup quarterback. And obviously you don't want to see your backup in the game because you want Jordan Love to be healthy on the field at all times. But man, is it good to know that you have a very good chance of winning even with your backup on the field. You can do a little bit of everything, and he is very good. I just honestly hope the Packers can keep him around next year with the way he's playing. But very humble guy. He may have just become my favorite Packers player. Really outspoken Christian, great guy. And it's really great to have him around in that locker room for sure. On defense, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. I believe it was of the week. Maybe I should just check that real quick. Just got that news a little bit ago that he was Defensive Player of something. And yes, Defensive Player of the Week. Had a strip sack of Trevor Lawrence in this game. It was pretty awesome. Put the Packers in great field position. They got points on that play. I believe that was when Tucker Kraft's touchdown came. Don't quote me on that though, because I seem to have issues remembering how the game unfolded correctly, but had a pass breakup as well in this one. Led the team, or tied for the team lead with Eric Wilson in total tackles with 9 of those. Another great performance by Cooper. He continues to earn himself more playing time. He has been fantastic at linebacker here for the Packers. Number 2 is Jaire Alexander. Of course, went out with the injury late, but only allowed 1 catch for 2 yards in his coverage and had a pass break up on the day. That is number 1 corner type stuff. Shut down corner. Jaire Alexander getting it done yet again for Green Bay, and you love to see it. Xavier McKinney got another interception. How about that? Number 6 for him on the year. He leads the NFL in interceptions. Has been great all the way around in coverage and just locked tight like normal. For some reason, Trevor Lawrence decided to throw in his general area, and that's not a good idea. He read that pass very well and picked it off. Great play there for McKinney. And it was especially big because that came after a Jordan Love interception and prevented a drive by the Jaguars, and the Packers punched it in. Then after that, a little bit of a slow start from the offense in this one, but the defense able to hold the Jags offense back as well and allow the offense to eventually get it done. So definitely not a great performance. The defense got a little bit more, allowed some drives to the Jags, allowed this game to be close. But the offense also allowed this game to be close by not scoring sooner when the defense was playing great. So a little bit of, counteraction there, whatever. But it was a great second half for the offense, great first half for the defense. We put those two together, and we have a for sure playoff caliber, maybe Super Bowl caliber team with the way some of these players are playing. That is about all I have on the game. Those are my players of the game. On offense, Tucker Kraft, Josh Jacobs, Malik Willis. On defense, Edgerrin Cooper, Jaire Alexander, Xavier McKinney. I do want to mention I've had some people on X, Packers fans, a lot of people. This seems to be a question every week. Jordan Love is injured or, questionable to play. People are asking, well, if Jordan Love's not completely healthy, why put him out there? We should just put Malik Willis out there because he's just winning games right now. And so I think maybe we should do that. Here's my take on it. Jordan Love's a starter. Okay, he's also one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay, so I think if Jordan Love is remotely close to playing, he's going to play because, one, he wants to be on the field. And if your starting quarterback wants to be on the field and he feels like he's good enough to go, and the training staff is like, all right, we think he'll be okay to go. It's just a groin strain. It's not like he's going to do anything major. If he re-injures it, well, then it's Malik Willis. But also, yeah, he's just going to want to be out there. He's determined to play, like we already saw from Rappaport, and I know that. He did not want to take himself out of the game. I can guarantee you that. But kind of had to, and got to watch Malik Willis get things done. So those two have a great relationship. They have been fantastic for this team. And so hopefully Jordan Love is out there. And yes, even if he's only 70%, he's going to play. And so you just got to be good with that. As good as Malik Willis is, he's not Jordan Love. And if teams if Malik Willis was the starter, this team wouldn't be so great. Malik Willis, what really helps him perform is, one, Matt LaFleur is a great coach and really uses Willis's skill set very well. And, Willis can do everything right in terms of protecting the ball, being a great game manager, and just making all the right reads, all the right plays. But also, it's just the element of surprise, As soon as he comes in, he starts ripping off 20-yard runs because the Jags defense wasn't seeing that out of Jordan Love, especially a hobbled Jordan Love. And so then you all of a sudden get Willis in there, and that changes your whole game plan defensively as to how you got to stop him. So certainly that I think has something to do with it. If you're game planning, if you knew it was Willis and you're game planning for him, it would be a little bit different probably, and you might be able to stop him a little bit easier. So it seems like the expectation to me is that Jordan Love's going to be out there. This is a big game. He's going to be wanting to be out there more than, other games, and he doesn't like to be on the sideline like most players that enjoy the sport. So he's just that competitive, and so he's probably going to be out there. So yeah, I don't think they should just try to let Love get healthy to put Willis out there, because this is a big game. We need to win. Not need it. It's not going to ruin our season, but would be very nice to get a win against the Lions. Very big divisional matchup coming up, so it should be a lot of fun to watch next week. As far as that Jayden Reed play, just want to mention there's a pretty cool story about that. You should listen to Malik Willis' press conference afterwards. That was class act right there. But apparently that was a can play, so they had another play that was called. He went with the can and switched plays there and went to that play, which apparently they had called earlier. Malik said, they didn't get the look that they wanted. So he saw that that they did get the look they wanted on that particular play. So he canned out of the play that was originally called into this play that was not even in their playbook to start that week, per Matt LaFleur. That play wasn't in their playbook, wasn't, game planned for this game, wasn't in the plan. They weren't going to use this play, but they saw what the defense was doing. They're like, I think this play could work really well. And so it didn't work the first time. Couldn't get the ball there. They get the look they wanted. Malik cans into that play, and they get Jayden Reed wide open for a 51-yard catch and run, puts him in field goal range. They knee the ball pair a couple times there and call timeout. 2 seconds on the clock. McManus drills it for the second straight week, and the Packers win. So cool story there. Definitely listen to them tell it. It's way better. But I tell you what, this Packers team really has things going pretty good for them right now, and they're just resilient. That was the number one thing Matt LaFleur said in the locker room afterward. Just a resilient team win, and that's what this team is. Now we just got to get everyone healthy and get things clicking on all cylinders as we head down the stretch, just about halfway through the season now. So things will get interesting, and they have a bye week after this Detroit game, so that'll help them rest up, get healthy for the remainder of the season after that. So seems like that's coming up at the right time. They'll be a little banged up going into Detroit. I have faith that Matt LaFleur can pull off a win. Obviously, if I'm predicting the game, yeah, you probably would want to predict that the Lions are winning the game, and I probably would too. But I'm just saying, I still think the Packers have as good a chance to win as they do any week against any team, just because they have that good of a coaching staff and that good of players that will just, fight until the very end. And so, should be a fun one to watch. I'm very excited for it. Get to hear Tom Brady in the booth, if that's your thing. So, sure to stay tuned for that next week, coming up on Sunday, 4:25 Eastern kickoff time. That would be 3:25 Central if you are a Wisconsiners. That is about going to do it for me today. Thank you for listening, everybody. It is always great to be on here to talk Packers with y'all. And I will be back next week to hopefully be discussing another Packers win. If not, hopefully we get a good game at least against Detroit. It's going to be a fun one. Big time matchup for Green Bay. Hopefully they can come out with a W. Should be fun. I'll be back next week. And as always, go Pack, go.